Alright, inside the locker room, AJ, man, we back. WNOK 1350 AM. Make sure you check out our website, www.insidetheLockerRoomAJ.com. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel, our Twitter page, our Instagram, our SoundCloud, our iTunes. We're in TuneIn Radio. We're on radio.com.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. You can find our show anywhere, across the country.
Everywhere.
That's pretty cool, right? We are in the building with Mr. Ed Waters. And, you know, he brought a friend with him. We're not even going to talk to him. It's more about Mr. Waters today than it is about the friend he brought. But he brought Tremont Waters. Tremont is a Jordan Classic All-Star, Connecticut State Gatorade Player of the Year. You got so many accolades, man. I can't even. I don't have time to run down through all of them. We'll be here for another 15 minutes. Mr. Waters, how are you, sir?
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, good morning, man. Glad to have you in the building with Aunt Jay.
Happy to be here.
First of all, I want to say thank you for doing this, man. We appreciate you. We saw you a couple weeks ago, and we invited you on the show, and it's been, you and I have been chopping it up since then, and we're glad to have you here.
Our pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Hey, so let's start with before we get started, I'm going to, because Tremont came in and mentioned how cold it is in here. And every week we have this running joke. So these two fight every week over the air conditioner. So he turns it off and turns it. And
he doesn't turn it off.
And then he gets
it on 75.
And then it's 100 degrees in here. Then so Jay goes and turns it on and puts it down to like 60. So now you get this. So they fight over the air. Nothing to do with the studio.
It's cold, man, right?
These two just roll in there every week.
I have to be.
Every week.
It's 75 degrees in here. I'm going to fall asleep.
It's not.
This is every week they do this. Hey, Mr. Waters. So I see. Let's start with the gear. Obviously, there's a reason you're all in purple and yellow. Your son signed to LSU. As an LSU committed this year. First of all, how do you feel about that? Like, how do you...
There's a ginormous burden lifted.
Okay.
With all the fears of a young man going to college. As an athlete, student athlete, just all the pitfalls. It's a ginormous burden lifted. So now I get to lower my shoulders and enjoy the body of work and all the sacrifice and the level of commitment that it took from my wife, Vanessa Waters, Tremont Waters, and myself. And I noticed a lot of other people weren't putting that work in, but we were committed to it. So now we solely get to enjoy, as a family, all those sacrifices. So now I get to focus on me, working out, eating different, dating my wife all over again, just Tuesday and Thursdays are our day. Regardless of what's going on, those are our days. So it's nice to see the fruits of your labor. Because Tremont had a song once that said there's no trophies for what I do. Being a father, you're committed to it. And there's days that my son and my wife both didn't feel what we might have been going through being the right thing, but we had to just weather the storm and have faith. So now we get to sit back and, like I said, enjoy this. And it's a beautiful feeling to have him come home and us just hang out and just be guys. And, I'm not his coach anymore. I'm his dad now. I got very few hats, but all of them are still important. But dad is the one that he's home for about 3 weeks, and we're going to be father and son now.
You don't think you're going to have any anxiety with him going all the way down to Louisiana?
I think the answer to that is it's like having a newborn.
Okay.
You know you're going to do your best, but you're still excited, you're still concerned. It's unfamiliar territory, but you're going to figure it out. So yes, anxiety, he's gone. But I spent so much time preparing him that I believe in the preparation. It's almost like Ray Allen not being excited about hitting a three-pointer. He's a little disappointed when he misses. He's not excited that he made it because he's worked so hard. He's expecting for it to be a certain way. So yes, that's where for me, I'm expecting him to understand society, people. And we spent a whole year developing his character on relationships and how to be accountable in every moment that you're involved with, not looking to blame someone. So I'm super confident. It's almost like a coach preparing his point guard to run the plays.
When did you realize he was special? Like, what was that moment where you were at a game or you were at a workout or you were at a camp and you went, this is different?
When Tremont was 12, he got invited to play on a 16-year-old team. And for me, everything is preparation. Like I just said, we spent the whole year preparing Tremont for college, and working on the things that we didn't work on a lot when he was younger. Like, I taught him the game and what was expected of him in the game, and to be accountable inside the lines. I realized we needed to work on outside the lines. His radar, him reading people, understanding if you make a joke and if you say a joke and someone doesn't laugh, don't get mad, they get laugh. Just own it, move forward, and don't get upset about them not having your type of humor. So now, when Tremont was brought up to play with Billy Lovett and the 16-year-old team, I realized that he was prepared to handle that. When he got knocked down, would get right back up with a smile on his face. It wasn't about him being the leading scorer. It was about his character inside the lines and understanding his confidence. Just play and have fun. We're here to get better. And that's, like I said, what it was about sitting in college, preparing him to handle college life as a young man, not a basketball player. The coaches were going to help him with that acclimation process. My job and my wife's job was to prepare him as a person to be independent, time management, and things like that. So I was very confident in what Tremont was going to do.
What would be your advice to parents who are trying to go through this journey? Because there are a lot of kids out there playing basketball and wanting to get to an elite level. And what would be your advice, for parents going through this journey? Some of the positives, some of the pitfalls that you saw walking through this, some of the things you go, wow, I would do that over again, and some of the things you're like, wow, I wouldn't do that at all, and, that was really good, and that was so. What would be your advice to parents?
First and foremost, and I don't prioritize any of these, but have faith. Without that, I don't think anything you plan on doing is going to work. You have to have faith. My wife and I, our common thread is faith. There's a ton of things that my wife don't like, but she trusts. So, of flesh we call it trust. Biblically we call it faith. So I trust, I have faith in what we're doing. And even when things went wrong, and I was just explaining to a young man, how did Billy Lovett come about? Tremont was supposed to play with a 14-year-old team in New Haven. And one of the kids wouldn't give Tremont his gym uniform. So the coach said to me, can you get the uniform? I'm not going to this mother and asking her for her son's uniform. That's your job. You asked for Tremont to come play. So, okay, that's over, because I'm telling you what I'm not going to do. So Billy Lovett calls and said, can we get him? What is he doing this weekend? He just happened to be doing nothing. Well, I got a tournament. Can we get him up to max? Yes, let's figure it out. Let's get him up to max. When Tremont stepped on that court, that's when, I as a father saw again that he was ready. So what I would tell parents is, I could have gotten upset that the kid didn't want to give up the uniform. But I had faith. Like, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. Secondly, I would tell parents to be parents. You were born before this kid. Hopefully you've been through some things that these young men and women haven't been through. So in our household, it's trust and respect. I can talk about loving my wife, but how many men do we know that cheat on their wives? They love them, right? But you cheat. But trust and respect. So again, I know my father don't blink, and he punishes well. I don't want no problems with my father. And from what I've learned, he's a good father to have. Father God is on my side. I trust no one before him. So again, I need my son to trust and respect me. You're not going to like everything that I say you should do or you can't do. So, be a parent. Don't be afraid to use your wisdom. And I get sick and tired of parents worried about the kid's feelings, worried about his future, worried about her future. She's supposed to have feelings towards not liking something she sees everyone doing or he sees a group of people doing. give them permission to stand out, not fit in. Tremont's pants ain't never sagged. Has never sagged. And he just said never will. So in our household, my pants ain't never sagged. Be a parent. Give them the guidance. Handle them not liking you. Accept it. And understand, help them understand. But if you don't understand them not liking you, he wants to go to the party. You can't. You got to get up and work out. And Tremont would always, and these are the things that I humble myself with. Tremont would always have a group of friends who were wealthy that traveled. And they had these certain breaks. And I'll never forget, Tremont was going skiing with them. But Tremont had to come home 2 or 3 days early. And can you imagine a 14-year-old out with 8 or 9 friends, boys and girls, and he's always been pretty much liked. Hey, that's Tremont. Hey, Tremont, how you? He was kind of the life of the party, but he had to come home early. I have to respect him respecting me and coming home early to work out. Now he gets it. But, I had to be a parent and say what was important to our goals. Remember, you're the one who coaches, leaving the game, while the other guy you're guarding gets to get a drink, a break. Now you're guarding the second point guard. Now, is that fair or is that life? So let's prepare for this opportunity. And the last thing I would say is lead by example. Lead by example. If you 2 adults made a decision to bring this young man or young lady into this world, then you come second now. Being a parent, make that sacrifice to make sure your kids have everything that they need. And I want to put this out there for all the men listening who say this. Well, I never had a dad. And my dad wasn't with me. My dad, I'm going to leave it at wasn't with me. My mother and I had to figure it out. So for me, when I hear a young man say that I didn't have a father, you was that boy at one point. You know what little boys need going into manhood. You know what young men need to solidify their stake in society. So for me, that excuse don't work. My dad wasn't there for me because you was that boy. So again, be that example. I don't pack the bottom of a pack of cigarettes, and say, I light the cigarette, put it in my mouth, and show a young man how to smoke, and they go, don't smoke. I'm teaching you how to do something I'm telling you not to do. It's an oxymoron. It's a contradiction. You're a hypocrite. I don't want to be that for my son. Now, am I human? Yes. But I wake up every day concerning myself. That's why I'm killing myself in the gym now. And I send him videos every morning almost about, son, I'm up. There's no one here to wake me up. I'm up, son. The same way I was diligent with you, I'm diligent with myself. Please just understand I was prioritizing. I was loving you because you didn't ask to come here. Your mom and I made that decision. So, those are the 3 things that I think parents really need to stay focused on. Use your wisdom, lead by example, and have faith.
And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people should hear and may not want to hear. Me, myself, not having my dad really being around to help raise me and teach me things that I needed to learn. I don't think that should be a crutch for any man that has kids to say, "Well, I didn't have a father." No, that's not. That's an excuse. Whether it's my own children that I have now, in regards to how I treat them, they come first before anything. That should be even more motivation to be like, you know what, I'm not going to let certain situations I've had in my past repeat itself. You should, break that cycle and make sure that your kids are, like you said, they didn't have to be here. You need to take care of your responsibilities and teach them, the ways of the world and give them every opportunity to have a legacy that's going to be profitable and beneficial to them.
Absolutely. Inside the Locker Room, AMJ, man, WNOK 1350 AM. You want to call, be a part of the show, 203-873-0448, or hit us up online with questions, comments from Mr. Waters and Tremont. Tremont, how are you, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. SEC, man, one of the Big Six. How do you see your game at LSU? How do you see the game translating, man?
Starting at LSU, I don't think it's going to be that big of a challenge. Obviously, it's college basketball and everything. But I feel like, just like my dad said, I prepare myself, my coaches are preparing me now to get on the stage and just perform when the lights go on, so I can perform. So I don't really think it's going to be any different. It's basketball, the ball's still around. Obviously, the court's a little bigger, but I feel like my IQ and everything will keep me at the club.
Okay. When did you know you could compete at the elite level? When did you get it?
I would have to say around my 6th grade year. Same time my dad said. I was traveling a lot, going back and forth to Jersey, and actually traveling down to Florida with Billy Lovett in the 16. And I feel like at that moment I just knew, because there were highlight tapes starting to come out for me and everything like that. So I feel like that's when I became like that elite player, because I had to live up to all those highlights everybody was seeing. And I just wanted to be great, so I had to continue to show up.
Now, you know, your dad talked about it. You know, I'm sure everybody talked. For you, what was the toughest part of the recruiting process? Because now you've got every school in the country writing, calling, probably waking you up in the morning, not letting you go to bed at night. What was the hardest part for you about the recruiting process? Was it picking the school? Was it, you know, figuring out how you would fit in? Was it location? Obviously, location wasn't an issue because you're going to Louisiana. So
I feel like it was more. So every coach was kind of saying the same thing.
Okay.
So you really didn't have a guide to follow, because I know what I wanted, my parents knew what we wanted for me, and it wasn't really a sense of like what I could choose. It was a sense of what they were offering as far as like play style, stuff like that. So it wasn't a sense of like really what I wanted, but I knew what I wanted going into the process. But everyone was saying the same thing, so I felt like that was the toughest part of recruiting.
Okay. Well, you have, you know, I've known your dad for years before Tremont Waters, the player of the year. I've known your dad going through this process. Having such committed parents, your mom and dad, what's the best advice they gave you? What part of it, you know, because your dad's right. You know, he's done his part. You're going away now. You know, that part's over.
I think the best advice they gave me was starting out from an infant, a baby. Growing up, they always said that nothing was given, everything was earned. And now that I'm going off to college, I feel like that's really translated into like action for me now, because I know that it's college, that they can easily move on to whatever they want to. Like it's the real world now. So I feel like working out, practice and stuff like that, that's gonna make me make me stand out and show the coaches that I really want it, because there's always kids coming in each year. So I feel like that's the best advice they gave me.
Just to stay with it.
Yeah.
And your dad said something that's major that I think a lot of people don't get. Kids don't get. Jay and I get it. Big T gets it. You know, you got to get up. You got to get up. You got to get up and get your day started. And that's probably, although it sounds like the easiest part of the process, it's the hardest part. I mean, there's plenty of mornings we probably get up and like, oh man, I need to sleep in late on Sunday. I don't feel like going to do the show. And we get up and get here anyway. And I'm sure there's days when you felt like, Dad, I don't want to get up and work out. And, you know, he's like, get up, son. And even now, he's sending you videos saying, you know, I'm moving. You know, and now that you're in college, I mean, that's going to be important in terms of not just basketball, classwork, social life, everything that comes along with college. The total college experience, man. So we're really proud of you. But we're going to go back to high school just for 1 second. All right, we're going to ask one high school question. All right, what was your mindset every night? Because for 20 nights, probably 25 nights, you guys went pretty deep this year. So for 25 to 30 nights at high school, literally, I'm sure every coach in America, every coach in Connecticut was trying to send 2 or 3 people at you and game planning to beat you. What was your mindset going into every game? Knowing you had to know that at some point. And probably some point in December or January you figured it out.
Coming into the season, I knew it.
Yeah, so
I was leaving prep school, so I knew that everyone was gonna like have I was gonna have a target on my back. So I knew that every night I had to come out and give everyone my best shot.
And to say this, and I'm sorry to cut you off, you handled it like a true champion. Like I didn't see any crazy headlines. I didn't see you look frustrated on the court. I didn't see you arguing with referees. I think that's a testament again to your mom and dad, to your parents. But go ahead. Well, you got the target. So how you deal with it?
I know I put the work in. That's the main thing. I know I put the work in, and I know that I'm gonna say this out there because no one person can stop me. So I feel like I know I put the work in. No one person can stop me. And
say that again. Say that again, bro. Say that again. Say that again. Ain't nobody stopping you one-on-one. Say that again. They were supposed to send 2 people that.
So going into the season, I knew that like double team and boxing one was gonna happen, and they were gonna basically send everybody to my other teammates. But I had one little road dog this season. Obviously, Tim Dawson. He held it down and he pretty much helped me get through some of the tougher games. But just going into like every game, I just knew I had to give everybody my best shot. And I know I put the work in, so I knew what I wanted to happen was going to happen.
Okay, I keep hearing a common word here that you mentioned, Tremont, work. For all the young men and women out here that aspire to be you, to have these opportunities to go to LSU, go to college, give us an example of the type of work you put in, like for a typical day. How much time you put into being a great basketball player like yourself?
Hold on, before you answer that, Aaron Michael Hill, my son is 12, just turned 13. Son, I know you're listening, so please, let's take this part of the show. I think I'll bring the video home when you tell us why.
Yeah, I think this is very important to hear because we both coached and
put the mic up real good. Put it right.
We've coached a lot of kids in our time, and I think kids don't understand how much time you have to put in to see the fruits of your labor. So I just want to give an example of this day.
They think this is easy. They think going to LSU is easy.
It's definitely not easy. It's definitely work in progress because growing up, I was, what was that? About age?
I want to say like around, honestly, 6 or 7.
When you started?
Yeah. He was in kindergarten when he played for a 4th grade team. And, I have to say thanks to Terrell Stafford, who, again, no one's perfect. But this man really, he really saw something in Tremont.
Terrell was an assistant on my staff at Little Cross one year. So,
he actually, there was a tryout, 4th grade tryout, 40 plus kids in the building. And my son Tremont and Jonathan, we had our pre-workout, pre-do anything, regimen, stretching, ball handling drills, all types of things. So right before the workout, these 2 kids were isolated off in the corner doing what they do. Other kids running around the gym. So Carol was like, yo, what's up with these 2 kids? Well, he's only 7. He's 9 or 10. So he was like, well, what's up with the younger one? What you mean? He was like, is he looking to try out? Well, I was bringing the older one here to try out, but yeah. So Terrell took him with the understanding that I'll work with him. I like what I see. I like the discipline. So Tremont was real young. I just want to, if we could skip back real quick to the workout part. That's exactly what I was saying about parents being parents and not friends. I get sick and tired of people bringing your kids to me and saying, do what you did with Tremont with him. Or, what's the formula? Or looking for any type of help. And men helping, they turn around and want to interject and tell you what they want. Or what the kid wants. Why'd you bring him here? You asking me about what Tremont did, his workout. Well, you're telling me he's missing a workout to go to a party. Or his friends and this, that, and I'm preparing myself to go to college. Friends, they don't take 4 or 5 kids at once. So he may have to go by himself. But is this something he wants? But these are the same parents and kids who come to you after the game crying. You had all week to prepare for the opportunity to be successful. You didn't take it. But you wanted the parent because you was worried about, again, his feelings. And I think parents give kids too much of an opinion. You haven't earned it. You're not entitled to that. So, in the process of earning it, put the work in and I'll reward you. But parents nowadays, and you also got to be careful when you let your kid hang with it. Because those parents are always talking to your kid and their kids are talking to your kid, trying to get your son or daughter to understand it's okay to have fun. I would beg to differ that having fun at 12, 14, 15, 16, 17 allowed my son to fly with Nike, to hang out with LeBron. Every Nike sponsored person was there. But I'm going past this mic.
I got a question. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, how many hours a day did you put in to get where you're at now? As far as working out, regiments, drills, just on an average, how many times a week and how many hours a day did you
Go
put
through
in?
the course of a typical day of your workout regime. Time to get up. If you want to go into the type of meals you eat, your diet, go through that whole scenario.
Well, as a kid, for the meals part, I didn't really have a meal plan at age 6 or 7. So the workout part, I would wake up before school, which is 5, 5:15, 5:30. Go work out at the local park, do Coleman drills, stuff like that, sprints.
How many hours?
I'm gonna just get through the whole thing.
Okay.
So I did that for about, say, hour and a half. I came home after school, went to school, came home after school. Then I would work out again. Then I would have team practice. So I would work out with my team for, say, 2 hours. Then first I worked out before, so that was about an hour. Then I would go to team practice for 2 hours. Then I would go home and actually run on a treadmill for, I would say, I started out with 30 minutes, and I would, later, as I got better, I bumped up to an hour. So I would be on the treadmill, and this is before bed, so I would always, when my dad would push me to go to sleep, because I was always one of the kids that just ran around the house and had fun, so I had to run on a treadmill, but it actually helped me with basketball, so I had to run on the treadmill for an hour. I got in the shower and went right to bed, and the next day was the same thing. So that's about 7.5 hours.
Yeah, that's a lot.
A lot of work.
Yes.
Young men, young ladies.
Yes, please.
7 hours a day. You only have 24.
And 6 of those are in school.
So, understand how much time.
8 are sleeping if you sleep in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
That's a third of your day.
A lot of work.
Yes.
A lot of work to get to this level.
That's commitment.
Go ahead.
But I got one thing to say while working out. As you get older, it's not about how much time you put in. It's about limited time that you have. It's about how hard you go within that time. The game is only 40 minutes, and your practice show or workout should always be harder than your games. And the game should be like the treat after dinner. So that's one thing I wanted to say. That you should always work out hard for, say, 2 hours instead of 7, but go as hard as you can in those 2.5 hours, 3 hours, however long you go. It makes you focus on what you need to focus on.
When do you leave for LSU?
I leave August 18th.
18?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that anything else?
I would like to make sure that we have these young men and women focus on something that's lacking in the game of basketball and a lot of sports, which are the mental part, the mental focus of the game. We can get up and we can, I hear a lot of coaches say rebound, but they don't know how to box out. They don't know, they follow the flight of the ball. It's like the fundamentals, the mental part of how to play this game. Tremont's always been smaller. So if you can videotape your kid playing, I would videotape them, go home and watch it. And that's the one thing Tremont's always had. I like learning. So you have to teach how to learn. Sit down, watch the video, show them what they did wrong, show them what they did right. There's too many highlight reels, videos out here, but you don't ever see what a kid does wrong. So again, make sure the mental part of the game is there so kids can watch how to get better. Tremont always knew how to box out and everything else.
All right. We got one last question for Tremont. And all right, so this ought to be fun. What was your best moment on the basketball court? Game, camp, all-star game? What was the time you were out there really having fun?
I'm going to say forget me at this point. Or at this moment, I'm gonna say going through everything I've been through and working out and times I hated my dad and I didn't want to like walk by him because I didn't like he's made me work so hard that I feel like I'm about to just fall out and I'm like just. But I feel like my biggest moment was working out with LeBron James.
Really?
That's like he's my idol. Like he's somebody that I would, if I had one person to sit down with and just talk to and ask how they did it, it would definitely be LeBron James because I just love LeBron. I can't even tell you why, but like the little things, like him being such a good businessman and how he has a tight circle and everybody that's in his corner wants what's best for him and they know that he's gonna give back to him. Like I think that's what I would sit and talk to him about.
And that's the part I was going to say. Commit not only to the basketball part, but commit to LeBron the man. Because LeBron the man is incredible. We can argue about where he sits in the annals of basketball, but very hard to
He's the number one player in the world right now.
in the world right now, yes, okay. You can definitely argue about career.
Here we go.
You can definitely argue career. We've done that several times. Hey, inside the locker room, AJ, man, we've had the pleasure of having Mr. Ed Waters and Mr. Tremont Waters in the building. We want to say thank you to both of you guys, man, for a tremendous interview. All God's blessings with you guys, man. Good luck at LSU this year.
Thank you.
And we'll see y'all. We'll definitely see you. Promise you come back. Give you a chance next year.
My words.
Next year you come back. All right. After the season's over, we'll get you back. All right. Inside the locker room, AJ, man. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Inside the locker room more, Anthony and Jay. Inside the locker room more, Anthony and Jay. In this corner, we got in. In this corner, we got Jay. Let's get it. Inside the locker room more, Anthony and Jay. 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 Inside the locker room more. Inside the locker room more.